When Daniel Jeremiah said that he chose chaos, he really chose chaos. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to be doing a Mock the Mock. We're going to be talking about Daniel Jeremiah's newest mock draft mock draft that he did and released earlier this morning, and boy, did he just go crazy, especially in the top 10. And we're going to look at all of the top 10 picks that he has in this mock draft, because that's where the Jets pick. But also, we're going to look at some of my favorite picks, and if there are any trades, hint, hint, there are a few of them. We're going to look at what those trades netted those teams to see if the value is worth it. So the top 4 in the draft kind of go how I ultimately anticipate the draft to go. Chicago takes Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. Makes sense. That's what's slated in the cards. Unless something's going to change and the evaluation matches more my evaluation and they take Drake May, cool, but they're going to go quarterback. Washington doesn't overthink it. If they take Caleb Williams, they take Drake May. Those are quarterbacks 1 and 2. It's Drake May, it's Caleb Williams. That's 1, that's 2. This, in my opinion, falls like last year's draft where the number 1 quarterback went number 2 overall with CJ Stroud, but they're all in on getting a quarterback. They've traded Sam Howell. Same thing with Chicago. They've traded Justin Fields. Not much to talk about there. New England doesn't overcomplicate it, doesn't trade out, doesn't do anything like that. Doesn't matter that they signed Jacoby Brissett. Who cares? They're going to go and get a quarterback at number 3, and they take Jaden Daniels, which as a Jets fan, personally, is kind of the best case scenario, in my opinion. I don't believe in Jaden Daniels. Working out in the NFL as a super high-level quarterback. I think he's going to be really mid with a lot of athleticism. And so this is kind of a good scenario for the New York Jets if you're planning on going up against New England for the next forever. Because the really scary thing would have been if they got Marvin Harrison Jr., and they don't. So good things there. And now we get the first trade of the mock draft, and that's Minnesota comes up to number 4 and trades 2 first-round picks to come to 4 to grab J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback out of Michigan. Let's talk about the pick first, and then we'll talk about the trade. Minnesota is going all in on getting a first-round pick quarterback in this draft. That's why they traded with the Houston Texans to get the number 23 pick, I believe is what it is, or 24 pick, is so that they can get capital to now they can come up all the way up to 2. They have enough capital to come up to 2. With the Commies not trading out and the Patriots not trading out, that leaves Arizona, who doesn't need a quarterback and can afford to trade out, and now has 3 first-round picks in this draft alone. And this is a really good draft to have multiple first-round picks, especially with all the needs that Arizona has. Now, J.J. McCarthy, I guess I did it backwards. I talked about the trade first and not the player. J.J. McCarthy, again, I'm not the biggest fan of J.J. McCarthy in the top 4, especially because the way that I look at it with J.J. McCarthy, he needs to sit for a year, maybe even 2, before I really feel comfortable with handing him the reins. He was a quarterback that wasn't asked to do much in college. It was a running scheme at Michigan, and they kind of ran the ball all the way to a national championship. That's the fact. If you watch the Penn State game, they asked him to throw the ball 8 times. All game, 8 times. That doesn't seem like a team that's super confident in their quarterback's ability. But again, really good athlete, and I love the prospect, just not here at 4, not giving up all this capital to go to 4, especially because he's not going to be given the opportunity to sit. But that's that. At number 5... the New York Jets come up to number 5 and trade with the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, he doesn't have all the picks or things that are going on in this trade, but the New York Jets come from 10 to 5, and they go and take Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver out of Ohio State. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. If this happens, I will personally pay, build, do whatever it is that I need to do to get the Joe Douglas statue in front of MetLife, because this is, in my opinion, the best case scenario, period. Marvin Harrison Jr. is truly, and I mean truly, a generational talent, and not generational in the way that recently has been being used, like with Tyler Linderbaum, who was just like a really good player. Not generational, right? Generational would include he wouldn't have those size concerns that he had. you know, and I love Tyler Linderbaum. He's great. Or Kyle Pitts, who was just, again, another really big athletic freak. Wasn't generational. Was going to be a really good wide receiver in the NFL, but he's just not generational. Trevor Lawrence is in that same boat. I didn't think he was generational. Thought he was just a really, really good prospect. And we've kind of been backed up by these things. We've been using the generational tag way too loosey-goosey, but that's a conversation for a different video. Marvin Harrison Jr. is everything that you want a wide receiver to be. Size, speed, athleticism, quickness, toughness, blocking ability, route running, all of it. He does all of it. And he does it all really well. And that's the thing, is he doesn't do any one thing like out of this world insane. No. The thing is that he is the lowest grade you can give. Anything that he does is really good. And that's the point. You've never seen a player coming out of their draft who can run block the way that he does, can run routes the way that he does, that has the hands the way that he does, that has the ability to play the contested catch the way that he does, jump the way that he does, make a man miss the way that he does. He does everything. And this is the best case scenario. Partnering him with his former teammate Garrett Wilson and giving Aaron Rodgers something that he's never been given before, and that's a first-round wide receiver talent that was picked for him, is insane. And Garrett Wilson is a stud. This isn't me trying to dog on Garrett Wilson. Deserved to be the number 10 pick and all of that stuff, but we had Garrett Wilson before we had Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't really count as going and getting Rodgers a weapon. This is going and getting Rodgers a weapon. This is going all in. And if this happened, and it probably won't, I would love it. Let's wrap out the top 10 and see what Arizona gets for the rest of the picks that they've got. And is it worth giving up Marvin Harrison Jr. for the 3 players that they got? And we can talk about that. Malik Neighbors, 6 to the New York Giants. Makes sense. Joe Alt, number 7 to the Tennessee Titans. Dallas Turner, first defensive player off the board, number 8 to the Falcons. The Chicago Bears pass on a defensive player and take Rome Odunze at 9, creating almost a Bengals-like wide receiver core for new quarterback Caleb Williams. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze would be an insane wide receiver trio. And then with the number 10 pick, the Los Angeles Chargers take Talise Fuaga with the pick that they got for the Jets. Now, remember, Arizona has 3 first-round picks, so the first of their 3 first-round picks would be at 11, which would be one of the picks they got from Minnesota, and they take Jared Verse. I have Jared Verse as edge 1 in this class, and they get him here at 11. This is a great, great pickup for them, solidifying that defense that desperately needs a ton of help. One pick that I did want to talk about that I thought was interesting is the Las Vegas Raiders. They take Michael Penix Jr. at 13, which I thought was very interesting. I don't have Penix graded this high, and it's mainly because of the injury concern. And they seem to, in this mock draft, not care about that. Take Michael Penix and just go in with a competition. Him, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and all of that stuff. And I think the good thing is that with Gardner Minshew there's no kind of rush to start Michael Penix. You can take your time with him, and that's a good move there. Another move that I did want to mention, I just thought was very interesting, was Quinyon Mitchell is the first cornerback taken off the board at 15, which is really interesting. I love this cornerback class, and to see the cornerbacks go so late is something that I don't think is all that realistic, personally. I think I think they'll go sooner than this, is what I'm trying to say. But Quinyon Mitchell is the first one taken off the board. He has done so much to help his draft stock outside of just the tape, but going to the Senior Bowl, going to the Combine, and doing all those things. This is a one where a perfect example of postseason work helping your draft stock in a massive, massive way in Quinyon Mitchell. We keep going, and the Cardinals used the 23 pick. It was 23 that they got in the Minnesota Vikings trade, and they take wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. So again, they get a wide receiver, which is what they would have taken at number 4 in Marvin Harrison Jr., but they also get edge 1 off the board and wide receiver 4. And then you keep it going, and at 27 with the pick that they originally had, which was the pick that they got from the Houston trade last year, they take Byron Murphy, the interior defensive lineman out of Texas. And honestly, I think that the Arizona Cardinals absolutely fleeced the Minnesota Vikings if this trade happens. One, because I don't see the value of J.J. McCarthy at 4, but 2, to walk away with edge 1, interior defensive lineman 1, and then wide receiver 4 is a great value. You've rebuilt your defensive line with one trade. You still got a really good wide receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. And yeah, he is no Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, not even close, not even in the same stratosphere. But that doesn't matter because you got Edge 1 and DT 1 rebuilding your defensive line, which they desperately needed to do. And that is that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree with the Jets moving up for Marvin Harrison Jr.? Do you not agree? And if not, why? Let me know all of that stuff in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.